our constitution emanates from the people. Our constitution emanates from the people. Indirectly, it means people are supreme. Emanates, EMNATES. कोट्स दिख रहा है? नहीं दिख रहा है कोट्स? इसको हटा दो. Then, what other importance? It is the preamble which mentions the term enact. It means our constitution is an enacted constitution by Constituent Assembly. It is not an autocratic constitution made by a dictator. Preamble talks about our constitution is enacted constitution, not made by a dictator, and the term enact is used only in the preamble. If preamble is abolished, it will be difficult for the constitution to know whether our constitution is a democratic constitution, enacted constitution, or made by a dictator. And therefore preamble has importance. Besides this importance, preamble also says about intention of forefathers. We know that whenever there is a conflict on any provision of the constitution, what debates was on that provision in the Constituent Assembly used to be heard to know the real intention of our forefathers. One of the most important aspect of preamble is to know intention of our forefathers. But the most important aspect of preamble is what? Please tell, which is the most important aspect of preamble? In Keswar and Bharti case, Supreme Court observed that in case of ambiguity about provision of a constitution or conflict between two provisions of a constitution, the court looks towards the preamble to understand the real meaning of the provision, to resolve the conflict between two provisions. It means preamble has a great role in interpretation of the constitution. Yes, Keswanand Bharti case judgment is clear on this point or not? Yes, please respond. Clear? Can you give some example? One example I am giving. So that we can understand this one. Later you have to study the relationship between fundamental and DPSP. But you tell me if there is a conflict between Article 14, 19 and that time 31 as well, and Article 39 B and C. Suppose you are the judge and there is a conflict between 14, 19, 31, 39 B and C. Which will prevail? Yes? There is a conflict between these fundamental rights, and this is what DPSP. This says right to property. 14 talks about equality, and you know Article 19, it also talks about right to what? Before right to property was removed from this article, right to property was a fundamental right. Occupation, profession also indirectly comes under this. And 31 talks about that before amendment, right to property as a fundamental right. And 39 B and C is what? Please clear. 39 B and C is a socialist article. 39 B says the distribution of resources in such a way so that it can serve the common purpose. You read at home, it talks about equality in the society. Resources should be equally distributed. C says कि prevention of concentration of resources in few hands. A state shall do something so that resources are not concentrated in few hands. It seems there is a conflict between this fundamental right which safeguard individual interest and 39B and C which safeguard social interest, societal interest, socialist activity. What should be done? Yes? Can we take help of preamble? Can we take help of preamble here? Yes? If we look at the preamble, in preamble what terms are used? Socialist, justice, liberty, democracy. If we be taking the help here like socialist, democracy, justice, liberty, equality, which should prevail? Please tell, which should prevail? DPSP or fundamental right? DPSP, fundamental right. No, this is case 1 of case judgment. Later you have to study. No factual position. To tell you that factual position, if there is a conflict between fundamental right and DPSP, first of all, harmonious interpretation should be done. Later you have to study in relations. If that is not possible, then fundamental right shall prevail. But if there is a conflict between Article 14, 19, 31, fundamental right, and DPSP 39B and C, which will prevail? DPSP will prevail. This is judgment of case 1 of the case. Don't you think here, in case of conflict, the court has looked at what? The preamble. In this way, preamble plays a very important role in interpretation of the constitution. Justice Sikri in Kesavan Bharati case, he was Chief Justice that time. He held that the preamble is extremely important. Point is clear? अभिषेक जी किसी का माइक ऑन होगा. नाउ क्लियर? यस, क्लियर, ऑडिबल. दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर और नॉट? कि preamble helps in interpretation of the constitution. You got or not? Yes, got. Later you have to study the relation between fundamental and DPSP. No problem, you will be knowing all this thing. But when question comes, what is the importance of the preamble? The most important point is it helps in interpretation of the constitution. Case 1 and Bharati judgment you have to write and also give this example. Clear? So that about the importance. Some more point I am adding in importance that will bring us as in exam. What other importance can be written here beside whatever we have discussed this one? Yes, some books write other importance as well. Whether preamble incorporates certain component of UN Declaration of Human Rights. Yes, right. Preamble, our preamble incorporates certain elements of UN Declaration of Human Rights. Dash, all human beings born with equal right and dignities. All human beings born with equal right and dignities. Conscience, reasoning, and shall work one another for the promotion of universal brotherhood. For promotion of universal brotherhood. One more aspect I am giving, Gandhiji concept. Preamble also includes the dreams of Gandhiji. Preamble also includes the dreams of Gandhiji. The dreams of Gandhiji, which he mentions in his book, The India of My Dream. India of My Dream. The India in which the poorest of the poor man can think that it is his India. The poorest of the poor man can think that it is his India. The poorest of the poor man can think that it is his India, in whose making he has a role to play. In whose making he has a role to play. Now we have finished the importance of the preamble. Last one dimension is that, last one dimension for the importance of the preamble is, the preamble includes, mentions ideal and aspirations. Preamble includes ideal and aspirations. Preamble includes, last importance of the preamble, it has ideals and aspirations. Ideal and aspirations for the Indian society, for India, and ideals already I have mentioned, but in detail you have to study ideals and aspirations. When question comes importance of the preamble, just to write, the preamble includes ideals and aspirations. Ideals, these are, and aspirations are this. I am taking separate topic, ideal and aspirations. Take separate topic, ideal and aspirations. Separate topic, ideal and aspirations. Ideal and aspirations. अभिषेक जी, हेलो हेलो, ये जो स्क्रीन पे है ना, इसको हटा दिया जाए। प्रेबल जो दिख रहा है क्या, आप लोगों को बोर्ड दिख रहा है? बोर्ड दिख रहा है? हाँ हाँ, बोर्ड इज विजिबल। अच्छा होगा क्योंकि कुछ लिख रहा हूँ मैं, उसकी तरफ जरूरत नहीं है, सब लोग जान ही रहे हैं। नहीं, let's see next aspect of preamble is ideals and aspirations. Question can be asked, what are the ideal and aspirations in the constitution? Separate words mentioned in ideal and aspiration can be asked from us in exam. So first I am taking ideals. In ideals, first term is what? Sovereign. Sovereign. The first ideal is sovereign. Sovereign means what? Unlimited power. Sovereign means unlimited power. It has two dimensions. One is external sovereignty. External sovereignty. Another is internal sovereignty. External sovereignty is that कि India can go for independent any international policies, international relation with foreign countries. Internal sovereignty means India can make any policy for it. External sovereignty also means that India is not under subjugation, under rule of any other country. The term sovereignty mentioned is this. Now one question arises from there, whether India is 100% sovereign country, whether any country in the world, sovereignty is the feature of a state, whether a state, nation, country is 100% sovereign. Yes, if India becomes member of any international organizations like Kyoto Protocol, UNO, UN Declaration of Human Rights, WTO, whether its sovereignty is compromised. Yes, please respond. Compromised or not? Suppose India is a member of UN Declaration of Human Rights, whether India can take 100% independent decision on the problems came before us related to Myanmar, Rohingya disputes, Rohingya refugee problem. Yes? If India is a member of, this question can be asked in present context, whether if India is a sovereign country, because of it is a member of UN Declaration of Human Rights, whether its sovereignty is somewhere compromised, whether India can take independent decision on Rohingya problem, or the membership of UN Declaration of Human Rights come in between some way. Another example, I am also taking WTO, food subsidies. India is a member of WTO, India gives food subsidies, huge food subsidies. International developed countries say that you must stop this food subsidy. If India is a member of WTO, whether its policy decision to give food subsidy to farmers somewhere compromised or not? Yes, please reply. How to answer this? A balance has to be drawn. The proper answer should be that yes, to some extent it is compromised. But this restriction is self-imposed in the interest of nation itself. When the level of compromise will become so high, then India can withdraw the membership from UN, WTO. And therefore here, the compromise of national sovereignty is in self-interest, is in self-imposed. This point is clear. Now at international level, can you tell whether Japan is a sovereign country? Whether Japan is a sovereign country? Yes? Whether Japan is a sovereign country? If I ask question. Japan is not a sovereign country. Yes? Even I am talking not about 100%, but whether Japan is sovereign like India, other countries. Answer is Japan is not a sovereign country. Because in Japanese constitution it is written that Japan can't go for militarization, high level of militarizations. Because Japanese constitution after Second World War was drafted by American army chiefs. And therefore it is written there. And therefore it is said that Japan is not a sovereign country. On that very pattern, even the New Zealand, Australia, the head of a state is the king or queen of UK, and therefore it is also said that Australia, New Zealand are also not a better sovereign country. So this much about sovereignty. Then next term I am taking. Next term is what? socialist, socialist. The next term is socialist. Socialist word, that is socialism, is really, this is a very large topic, socialism, based on different philosophy, historical background. But for us, for constitutional purpose, briefly have to know something about socialism, communism, capitalism. For our purposes, I will try to be quite precise on that. I am giving some basics about socialism, communism, capitalism. Then I will be coming to the constitutional direction. Okay, what is the meaning of socialist in our constitution? Some basic I am giving. What is the difference between capitalism and socialism? Socialism. Here I am taking also communism. Later I will make a difference between these two. But at present, for comparison, I am taking capitalism and socialism, communism. What is the difference? Yes, America is a capitalist country. Ireland, UK, all these are capitalist countries. India, socialist country. Russia also some extent socialist country. China, communist country. Israel, it is said communist country. Cuba, communist country. Some example I have given. What are differences? Can you tell me what is fundamental difference? Yes. The first difference is that in capitalism, means of production is in the hand of people. Means of production is in the hand of people. There is a focus on private property. Means of production is in the hand of the people. In socialism, communism, means of production is in the hand of a state. Means of production is in the hand of a state, like land, capital. Means in socialism, communism, there is a what? Nationalization of resources. Nationalization of company, lands. Communism, if I define the literal meaning of communism, means what? Common ownership of resources. Common ownership of resources. In primitive culture, if there is a pasture land, the cattle of all the members of that society, tribal society, used to graze in that pasture. And therefore, that what is the means of resource in that society? Pasture, land. And that is, there is a common ownership of that pasture in that society. The development of communism can be taken from that way. It means the fundamental difference between capitalism and socialism or communism is that the means of production in the hand of capitalism is the private individuals, unlike in case of socialism, communism, means of production in the hand of a state, government, and therefore that will be maybe better distributed. What others? Here motive is what? Profit, private profit. Here motive used to be social welfare. मैं बाद में डिफरेंस करूंगा, समझ गए? अभी मैं एक साथ लेके चल रहा हूं, बाद में डिफरेंस में करूंगा दोनों में अंतर क्या है, समझ गए? यस, हाँ, एक साथ लेके चल रहा हूं, हाँ, इससे अंतर कर रहे हैं दोनों में। फिर बाद में मैं दोनों सोशलिज्म कम्युनिज्म अंतर दिखाऊंगा क्या है, समझ गए? इसमें प्रॉफिट होगा, रिलायंस क्या चाहेगा? ज्यादा से ज्यादा प्रॉफिट कमाएगा, नहीं, लेकिन एसबीआई क्या चाहेगा बताइए? एचडीएफसी बैंक क्या चाहता है? पैसा कमाना। बट एसबीआई क्या कहता है? सोशल वेलफेयर दिखाना। उसका प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव है सोशल वेलफेयर। इन रूरल एरियाज लार्जेस्ट नंबर ऑफ ब्रांचेस of SBI are there. HDFC will be not going to rural areas because it has to make profit. The objective itself is different. What about third? Yes, that is very important for us. Yes, what are the differences? What about equality? What about equality in the society? Whether equality is respected by capitalism? No equality. This is not respected in capitalism. In capitalist society, equality is not respected. Even theoretically, this is not accepted. That is greatest fallacy of capitalism. You see right now in Corona period, what is happening in America? The rich are safe, happy. But relatively poor people in America are totally dependent on what? The states, the NGO. So much inequality between rich and poor in America is there. It is said that research was that America has highest inequality. Right now India has become the country with highest inequality between rich and poor. 1% are having 99% resources. So capitalism theoretically, therefore America is not a happy society. Because of capitalism there will be always inequality. Indirectly you can say that the mind is right. If there is no state control, what will happen? In Article 14, while discussing equality before law, equal protection of law, we will be discussing importance of equality. We will be bringing certain philosophy why there is a need for equality. If there is no equality, never peace will be coming. Here equality doesn't mean perfect equality, but relative equality. The gap between rich and poor should be minimized. It should not be so high that the social interaction stops. One exploits the others because of economic muscle powers. And therefore in America is not a happy society because of this. America is a society where a school child of 10 years, 15 years take a gun and kills all their friends. In no country it happens. It happens only in America. Why? Because of frustration. That child realized that I am the child of the poor man. I never will become at that of near equal to my friends. If there is no equality in the society, never peace can come.